Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is March 1st, 2024, and Barcelona have sued Javi Miguel, forcing him to rectify a previous story that he had published in the news. Also, Jaiver Tebas has once again spoken about Barcelona's finances. And finally, I'll reveal to you how much more money Barcelona are expected to make of the VIP areas in the new Spotify Camp Nou. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag, and if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. Both links for kit bag and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now, I'll begin with the news that Barcelona have sued Javi Miguel, forcing him to rectify a story that he published last month. Now, in case you don't know who Javi Miguel is, he's someone I've talked about a lot in this channel. He's a reporter in Barcelona who's very close to Xavi Hernandez and his entourage, or at least was very close to Xavi Hernandez and his entourage. He consistently reported about stories from what was going on within the locker room, and he also was constantly leaking Xavi Hernandez's lineups ahead of matches during the first half of the season, which eventually did become bothersome for Barcelona and Xavi Hernandez. Well, last month on February 21st, Javi Miguel published a story in Culé Mania where he claimed that Barcelona were so paranoid about who was leaking stories from within that supposedly Xavi collected the cell phones of all his staff, and he went through all the cell phones and the WhatsApp messages. And he also claimed that Barcelona had threatened reporters, asked them to reveal their internal source, or that Barcelona would pull their media passes. Now, when this report was first published, I remember reading it and thinking this story did not seem too credible, and that is why I decided not to talk about it in my videos. And well, lo and behold, Barcelona did file a lawsuit against Javi Miguel, claiming that this story was fake. And as such, Javi Miguel today rectified that story and clarified in Culé Mania that the story was indeed not true, that Xavi Hernandez did not go through the cell phones of his staff, and that Barcelona did not threaten any reporters asking them to reveal their internal sources. And in fact, Barcelona hadn't even talked to any reporters about any inside leaks. Now, Javi Miguel did confirm that Barcelona did in fact speak to him, and they asked him to please not speak on behalf of Xavi Hernandez, because usually when reporters get information, they say, okay, the information is that, Xavi supposedly said this or Xavi did that, but he would always say, Xavi is saying this or Xavi is doing that. So the club kind of asked him not to speak on behalf of Xavi, and he also asked him if he could stop leaking, the lineups ahead of matches, because that was sensitive information that could help the opponents. But in no shape or form did Barcelona threaten any reporters, nor did Xavi Hernandez go through the cell phone of his staff in order to reveal the inside leak. Now, I have to say that I am glad that Barcelona did this the same way they did that with the reporters from the Negreira case, where the reporters were saying that Barcelona did indeed bribe referees, even though it's been shown time and time again that there's no evidence that Barcelona bribed any referees, and Barcelona ended up filing over a dozen lawsuits. So I'm glad that Barcelona did that, because as I've said many times before, even though I'm a strong believer in the freedom of the press and the freedom of speech, those rights, of course, have its limits, because that doesn't mean that you get to lie and fabricate stories just for the sake of clicks or likes or ratings or whatever. As a reporter, you have a duty to only report the truth and not make up stories, because your actions do have consequences. Now, on to the news that Jaiver Tebas has once again talked about Barcelona's finances in the press. Of course, it's no surprise by now, because every time Jaiver Tebas has a microphone in front of him, he has to talk about Barcelona. At this point, I think there's a clause in his contract that says that he has to talk about Barcelona, because he only seems to be concerned about Barcelona's financial state and not about the other 41 clubs that exist in the first and second divisions of the league. Now, Jaiver Tebas said that he did not think that Barcelona would become the next Ajax. Of course, Ajax is a club who ended up selling all their stars, and now they're struggling to kind of come back on top. And in regards to that, Jaiver Tebas said, it's just that it's not going to happen. Barcelona will get out of the situation it is in. The club has options to take when its leaders decide to take them, if they are the ones they believe will provide solutions. They have 2 or 3 top players that they can sell. They sell them, and with that, they solve a big part of the program. With that, they can generate income that does not generate interest on debt, and with that, they can pay players. Despite the financial situation, Barcelona is still in the Champions League and they still have a chance to win La Liga. They are not in a catastrophe. So Javier Tebas saying that Barcelona is not going to become the next Ajax. However, they need to sell their stars in order to get out of the situation that they're in. And that's exactly what Ajax did. So I don't understand what Javier Tebas means. But I think the bigger problem is not what Javier Tebas' suggestion, is the fact that as La Liga president, he cannot stop talking about Barcelona and Barcelona only when he has 41 other clubs that he is supposed to be looking out for. But yet his obsession with Barcelona is becoming a little bit old. And in fact, Joan Laporta did complain about that in the past. Now, speaking of the club's finances, as I reported many times before, Barcelona will need to get the 40 million euros from the Barca Vision economic lever, and they will have to make a few sales in order to be able to sign players in the summer. And even though Barcelona were hoping to achieve the 1-to-1 rule during this summer transfer market, it's reported that Barcelona are now realizing that might be impossible for the summer and that the 1-to-1 rule might have to wait until maybe the winter transfer market or the following summer. Now, this does not mean that Barcelona are not going to be able to sign any players this summer transfer market. Barcelona, of course, could sign it. It just won't be under the 1-to-1 rule, which does make things a lot more difficult for Barcelona. But after all, Barcelona has not been under the 1-to-1 rule for many, many seasons and many, many transfer markets, and they were still able to sign players. So we're going to have to see what kind of maneuvers the club come up with in order to reinforce the squad, because again, the pivot position and the left wing remain top priorities for Barcelona. And while we're still on the topic of Barcelona's finances, we now know how much the club are hoping to make off the VIP areas in the new Spotify Camp Nou. Now, as you already know by now, the Spotify Camp Nou is undergoing major renovations that will bring the stadium into the 21st century, offering 21st century's amenities and making it one of the best stadiums in the world. And not only is Barcelona hoping or looking to achieve an increase in revenue from the increased capacity of the stadium and the availability of new amenities, but Barcelona are also looking to make an increased revenue from the VIP areas that the new Spotify Camp Nou will have, that the previous Camp Nou did not. Now, Barcelona have revealed that the new Spotify Camp Nou will have 84 executive boxes. This will be the top of the line boxes, and it will also have 188 lounging boxes. These are also VIP boxes. They just won't have as many amenities as the executive ones. And out of all these boxes, Barcelona are estimating that they will make 20 million euros per season. And this is a low or conservative estimate, so Barcelona might end up making more than that. Now, this is, of course, great news for Barcelona, because Barcelona are looking to dramatically increase their revenue from the stadium once it's finished. In fact, it's estimated that Barcelona will make 300 million euros per season from the new Spotify Camp Nou. Again, that's also a conservative estimate, so Barcelona could end up making more. So yes, even though it is costing a lot of money to renovate the stadium and the other facilities, 1.2 billion to be more specific, the fact that Barcelona could make 300 or more million euros per season means that this investment will pay for itself, and it will do it in a very quick manner. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.